All right, what's going on, everybody? This is a lesson on a groove that I love to do with the right hand. It's really fast, but I'm going to show you the slow down version of it first, obviously here, and then we're going to speed it up and get it nice and fast and actually play some chords with it as well. Now, this is more of a rhythmic exercise, so we're going to be focusing really on just muting the strings here for now, for the most part. Okay, so keep your fingers across all the strings here, so we're not looking for any sound. Let's get used to the fingering here. The thumb is always going to take care of mostly of the A string, but in the very beginning, we're going to start with the low E string here. So we're going to play thumb, index and middle finger are always going to be on strings 3 and 4. Okay, so the middle two strings. So we got thumb, fingers, thumb on the A string, fingers, now a string hit. I want to talk about the string hit here because a lot of players will typically only rather do a thumb slap, or what they'll do is they'll hit this and then miss the spot and then want to come back. You absolutely have to get your fingers under those strings 3 and 4. And think of it like this: the nail, the face of the nail needs to touch the string under the string that you're hooking. Meaning that if the index finger is hooking under the D string, the nail is actually touching the string below it on the G. And that goes with the middle finger as well. It's the same thing. Okay, so we're almost getting this sort of percussive sound from not only the thumb, but the fingers, the nail touching the string below it. Also, the palm is also touching right there. It's doing this. Okay, so we're getting these 3 motions. So we're going to start thumb, fingers, string hit. Now, follow through. I see a lot of this happening, this bounce. Okay, when you bounce it like this, you're going to slow yourself down. We don't want that. We want to play it nice and fast. In order for us to do it at that speed, we have to control that motion, okay? So we got thumb, fingers, string hit. Leave that thumb there, fingers, thumb, fingers. Okay, that's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, now, once you feel comfortable with this, push yourself out of your comfort zone and slowly increase the speed like this. Okay, the reason I say this is like push yourself out of your comfort zone so you can get used to feeling how much pressure you're applying on the strings and what movement is required. It's a very active right hand, right? So it's a very sort of fast rhythm. But notice my fingers are moving very little and optimally. I'm not doing these big broad strokes, right? If I do this is about as fast as I can go. All right, and it starts to sound sloppy as well. So make sure that you keep your fingers in. If you notice my wrist or my arm, it's in one position. Right, if I'm doing this, the only time that I lift is when I do that lift for the string hit. And again, I'm lifting it away from the guitar and then back in. Not up like this and then down, or pivoting. I see this a lot too, this pivoting motion of the wrist. Do not do that. Just lift the arm and then apply pressure. Let gravity do the work there. Let it just come down to you, okay? That's the motion. Now, exercise 2 is going to be doing this with the subdivision. What that means is when the first time that we do this, we're going to go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and bar 3 and 4 is going to be twice as fast. Then back to the slowed down version. Okay, it's a very important thing to do to test yourself by doubling the speed. That's basically what's happening. We're playing 8th notes and then we're playing 16th notes right after. Test yourself to do that. Listen to the Guitar Pro version of the tabs if you want, just to kind of get this idea of looping this looping these 4 bars, because it's going to sound really cool when you can control dynamics by half time and then double time. Okay, so exercise 3 here is the same thing, the fast version, the 16th note version with this E7 shape. I'm basically using second finger there, middle finger on the 7th fret of the A string, index finger on the D string, 6th fret, and then ring finger there on the 7th fret of the G string, okay? Now, I'm gonna play 0 first with the open E, but notice here, I'm not applying any pressure. My thumb is very relaxed, so I'm just getting, again, muted sounds. I'm leaving them there because I'm going to push them down for just one little section like this. Okay, it's very difficult to do this because it's in such a specific point and it's happening so quick that you need to land there. That's why we're leaving these fingers there, planted, and just let go. And you can see I'm squeezing here, no pressure, pressure. Let go of the thumb, squeeze the thumb, okay? So 1 E and 2 E and. So you see on the 2 and is when we're gonna apply pressure, okay? Really slowly like this. Again. Okay, notice that I'm also doing a palm mute on that low A string, but these 2 fingers are not palm muted. So we got palm mute, no palm mutes, in case we want to make it even more challenging, right? And even with the first note, also a palm mute. I'm muting that palm there on the low E string, getting a little bit of a more kind of controlled sound as opposed to an open sound. Okay, that's the first bar of exercise 3. The second bar of exercise 3 is we're going to do a very similar thing, except for just we're going to play it on 3 and as well. And it should sound like this. This is the second bar of exercise 3. Okay, you might be wondering, these little differences really going to make that much of a difference here in the long run? And the answer is yes, because when you start playing it fast, you start to hear the accents in different spots, right? It's kind of like a syncopated accent that we're doing. Think of this as sort of like a horn section in a funk band, right? So let me play it, slower this one time. This is the first 2 bars, and then I'm going to play it quicker so you can see what it sounds like. Okay, that's slow, and then now I'm going to play twice as fast, and here's how it goes. Okay, this is something that you could even add a new chord. You can go from this chord here, move it up all the way up to the 11th chord for the A7, and you can kind of go back between this and you got yourself a blues, and it should sound like this. Okay, this does take a bit of time and coordination to just get that so clean. This is something that I actually use in my song called Cold Arrival, where I kind of switch between inversions of like the A chord. Okay, it's a really fun thing to do because it's just very groovy over this sort of E7 shape, funky sound, right? It has a very funky, bluesy sort of drive to it. Okay, so practice this nice and slowly with the metronome until you feel you got it comfortable. Again, push yourself out of your comfort zone once you do have it down, because it is meant to be played at a pretty fast tempo like I'm doing here. All right, thanks so much for checking out this lesson. If you like this lesson and you want more of this sort of content, I do have many more at my new online guitar course called Fingerstyle Pro. This is where I go over the foundations of beginner levels to intermediate, all the way up to advanced playing, and how to apply this into your own compositions as well. So if you're interested in that, make sure you check out the link in the description below at fingerstylepro.com. Hope to see you there.